students, welcome back to class. Let's try to know more about feminism. In the last class, I gave you introduction to gender studies. I explained some concepts in gender studies. So let's try to know about feminism. What is it? What are the chief concepts in that? And when did it start? So let's just try to know about it. So let's come to feminism. So, when we think about feminism, one key uh, aspect we have to remember is patriarchy. You all might have heard of the term patriarchy. So, what is patriarchy? Usually, feminists say that the society is patriarchal. It's again a society ruled by men. It's a male dominated society. That is what feminists usually speak. So, they are actually trying to speak about the unequal distribution of power, the discrimination faced by women in such a kind of society. So, patriarch, the word exactly means father. So, the father figure that is dominant in a society, and how the power relations are determined by the father figure. So, patriarchal refers to power relations in which women's interests are subordinated to the interests of men. So, in a patriarchal society, the most important people or the most important people who determine things are men. So, the interests of the men will be given priority. So, they'll be given more preference, they'll be given priority. So, even the interests of women will be subordinated to the interests of men. So, power relations will be structured in such a way that women's interests are subordinated to the interests of men. So, these power relations take on many forms, from the sexual division of labor and the social organization of procreation to the internalized norms of femininity by which we live. So, when we think about power relations, these power relations are actually shown in different ways. So even when we think about a family, there's a division of labor. So some household chores, this household chores, cooking, cleaning, washing, all those things are actually supposed to be done by women. So this is again a division of labor based on uh, uh, gender. So again, in the same way, we can find, women are supposed to give birth to children. They have to take care of and the children, and they have to think about the sphere is again the domestic sphere, the sphere is again um, the life in the houses. They're not supposed to go out, so there are actually certain constructions which are formed on the basis of this power relations. So even procreation, all those things are associated with the women, even though women can, if we actually think about the past days, they were not allowed to get education, they were not considered as free citizens, they were always under the control of men. So, so women also got internalized these notions of femininity. So they actually said, women are supposed to be submissive, they're supposed to be docile, supposed to be, calm, they are not rational. So some such notions were there. So those notions were attributed to femininity. So in these ways, actually, women were supposed to live. So masculinity was again the powerful, dominating, that kind of a notion. The muscular, powerful, dominating, strong, bold. So such notions were given to masculinity. So these notions were also internalized by the society. So the society actually structured these power relations in such a way that women slowly started internalizing the notions of femininity and masculinity. So in that way, power relations were they were actually distributed in the society. So patriarchal power rests on social given to biological sexual difference. So that actually the basis of this patriarchal power is again based on the biological difference. So let's come to biological difference. So we know it's again there is a thought that biology is destiny. So that was there long back. Even in the period of BC also we can see such notions about such notions about women. So thinking that biology is destiny. So Aristotle, you all have heard of Aristotle. So Aristotle thought that women were women by virtue of a certain lack of qualities. That was what he thought of women, and that was what he tried to propagate also. So even when we think about the Greek states, women were not given citizenship. They were not considered as free citizens. When slaves were not considered free citizens. So that was the way women were treated. So they were actually shown as some people who did not have certain qualities. They were shown as some people who lacked certain qualities. So women were women because they did not have certain qualities. So for them, the yardstick was men. So men had many qualities. So whatever men did not have, those might be there in women. But again, women had the power to reproduce. That was not actually considered. So they thought that women had certain lack, keeping men as yardstick. So according to Aristotle, he just said that that is the destiny. So women's destiny was based on the biological difference she had. So they lacked certain qualities, and this is based on the point that women's and men's differences are result of biology. Definitely, okay. That means women have certain differences, men also have certain differences. But that does not show a hierarchy in that. But here they thought that women had certain lack compared to men. So for them, the perfect, the ideal creature was men. So they tried to understand things in on the basis of that. So men exhibit, so based on the thinking that women's differences and men's differences are a result of biology, so they try to bring certain attributes related to men and women. So men exhibit masculine psychological traits such as aggressiveness, rationality, and assertiveness, whereas women will exhibit feminine traits such as gentleness, intuitiveness, and sensitivity. So it was believed that men would be exhibiting these traits. So men would be aggressive, they would be rational, they would be assertive. Okay, and women, even now also those notions are there. Women will exhibit traits such as gentle, intuitive. Okay, they will not be rational. They will be deciding things on the basis of intuition. Okay, and they are sensitive. So that also we can see. So those differences, it was believed, translated into particular patterns of thought, feeling, and behavior specific to each gender. So according to these attributes given to masculinity and femininity, okay, so certain feelings and patterns of thought were attributed to each gender. So even the concept of gender also, okay, even we say that gender is a biological concept. So even that also came because of the basic notion that women and men have biological differences, and women by virtue have certain lack of qualities. Based on that only those things developed. So these differences, it was believed, translated into particular patterns of thought, feeling, and behavior. So specific to each gender, that is, men are supposed to be bold, rational, assertive. Women are supposed to be gentle, intuitive, sensitive. So, and then women are supposed to take care of the household chores. Women are supposed to take care of mothering, taking care of the children. So men are supposed to go out and feed the family. So again, certain roles were also attributed to both men and women based on these biological differences. So some patterns of thought were developed. And men, so essentialist philosophy, so that actually gave the notion that men are able to think logically, abstractly, and analytically, while women are mainly emotional, compassionate, and nurturing creatures. So that was again based on the essential nature of the human beings. Okay, so essentialist, again, it's a kind of philosophy only. So according to that philosophy, it was believed that men are able to think logically. Okay, so again, that means men by nature, they have the ability to think logically. Okay, and they have the ability to think abstractly, analytical thinking also they have. But when we actually they thought that there is this particular philosophy thought that women are emotional, they are compassionate. It's a good thing only. They are nurturing creatures. They'll take care of the babies, they'll take care of children. So they are nurturing creatures. So that is what essentialism thought. So essentialism actually it means that uh, according to sociology, the view that all members of certain groups of people, such as those with the same race, gender, age, or sexual orientation, have common essential traits inherent to the defining feature of the group. Means women as such, they have common traits. Men as such, that means as particular group, they have certain traits, defined common traits. So according to the belief that women possess common traits and men possess certain traits, because they belong to the specific category. Okay, so it was thought that men were able to think logically, able to think abstractly, and they were able to do things analytically, while women were thought emotional, compassionate, and nurturing creatures. It maintains distinctions between the sexes in order to preserve the natural order. So, according to this philosophy of essentialism, it thought that there should be distinction between the sexes. It means there should be a distribution of power. There should be an order. So, to preserve the natural order, there should be a system. So that is again, so for example, women will be taking care of the house. Okay, they will be taking care of the family, taking care of the house. Men will go out and they will actually what you say, they'll bring money, they'll do the household, not household things outside the home. So in that way, they were actually trying to create a kind of order. So if actually two people try to control each other completely, there won't be any order. So that is why they thought that okay, let men actually control, let women be subordinated and men rule. Because men are able to think logically, men are very rational. So in that way, actually, they thought that some kind of order could be preserved. And in private life, essentialist ideas were translated into rules of conduct for the woman as wife, mother, and daughter. We know that society actually demands certain roles from woman as wife, mother, and daughter. So if mother does not take care of the child, who will take care of the child? So that is the thing, because we have already given some roles to woman as wife, mother, and daughter. So let them do that. Then actually that will be the way to show the rule of conduct. In public life, it was believed that women's participation should be limited and strictly controlled by a masculine representative authority such as husband, father, the clergy, the law. So they thought that in public life also there should be an authority to control women. Okay, there should be a masculine representative of authority. So in family, the masculine representative authority is husband. Okay, then again at home also, in family again, father figure is there, the masculine representative authority. In church, the clergy is there. Okay, that will be showing the masculine representative authority. The law, that is again, law we may think that it is impartial only, but again when the law is framed by the patriarchal society, that also becomes a symbol of masculine authority. So it proposed that there is natural, biologically determined essence of the feminine that is universal and unchangeable. Okay, so they thought that it is again that feminine is again biologically determined, and this is again universal only and unchangeable. It means all over the world, females will be behaving in such and such way. Males will be behaving in such and such way. Okay, that is actually what they thought, because they have the biological difference, and the basis of the biological difference, this is how they will be behaving, this is how they are. Okay, so feminism actually tries to dispel these views of essentialism. Okay, feminism is actually not telling that these are the correct things. It is just there are a lot of myths about the roles of men and women, myths about femininity and masculinity, myths about being feminine and masculine. So there are again a lot of some constructed notions about all these things. So these things are dispelled by feminism. This is what feminism tries to do. Okay, So let's come to the word feminism. So this particular word originated from the French word feminism. Okay, it was coined by the utopian socialist Charles Fourier. Okay, so he was again a socialist only. So he coined this particular term feminism. Okay, so from that word feminism originated. It was first used in English in the 1890s. So the origin was from a French word feminisme, and it was coined by the utopian socialist Charles Fourier. It was first used in English in the 1890s. Feminism, what exactly it is? Okay, nowadays we know that people do not like to be called feminists. Even the ardent feminists also do not like to be called feminists, because not nowadays, actually in the very beginning itself, when this term was used, they just tried to shun away from being given that particular label feminist. So it was always considered as a kind of negative meaning, negative thought only. That is, there was that particular word was given a lot of negative shade of meaning. So even women themselves also tried to move away from that kind of a label. They never wanted to say that they were feminists. Even writers also, many writers, they just tried to move away from being given the label feminist. So because a lot of negative connotations were there related to the word feminist, because they thought that feminist would be arrogant. Feminist is again somebody who does not pay attention to the rules of the family, the lawbreaker, arrogant, radical. So that kind of notions are there about feminism. So people generally try to not all, okay, at least some of them try to move away from, or shun that label. So feminism is the belief in social, economic and political equality of the sexes. The only thing is that feminists also wanted to say that they are individuals, okay, they are also individuals like men. Just by being biologically different, they need not be looked down upon, they need not be subordinated, they also have their own potentials, they need not be actually given they need not be deprived of the opportunities. If they are also given the same opportunities, they will also be able to rise up into society. So feminism is the belief in social, economic and political equality of the sexes. So feminism has always been trying to uh, get that equality, okay, equal wages, equal opportunities, um, equal privileges. So they've been always been trying to do that, because just on the basis of gender, women were discriminated. So that just the gender discrimination was very high in the society. Even now also we see gender discrimination in societies. So this is something undigestible. This is something the feminists wanted to fight against. They also have their own ways of thinking, they also have rationality. If they are also given the right kind of education, they also know to think logically. They can also come up with creative ideas, they can also come up with innovative ideas. So all those things are there. So it is again the basic belief is that they wanted equality. They are equal, they should be equal to men. So they wanted that equality, socially, economically, politically. Okay. So, although largely originating in the West, feminism is manifested worldwide and is represented by various institutions committed to activity on behalf of women's rights and interests. So, it actually originated in the West, but this particular uh, movement, feminism, it is there worldwide. Okay, so it is represented by various institutions, and this is committed to activity on behalf of women's rights and interests. So that is the thing. So if you actually think about the social equality, women wanted them to be treated like others, okay, in a society, like men in a society. And economic, they also have the right to own property. They also have the right to do jobs. They also have the right to be financially independent. And politically, they also have the right to have an opinion on the political things in the society. They also have the right to cast vote. And actually this feminism, it started with the movement for the right to cast vote. So that was deprived for many centuries. So they actually, by the end of by 19th century, there were women suffrage movements. Okay, so they wanted the right to cast vote. So with that, actually, it started. Then it's a range of social movements, political movements, and ideologies that aim to define and establish the political, economic, personal, and social equality of the sexes. So, from all these points, it is clear that feminism tried to establish equality of the sexes. That means women and men are equal. They need not be discriminated. Gender, on the basis of gender, they should not be discriminated. So for that, there were a lot of social movements, lot of political movements, and ideologies were spread. So they wanted to define and establish the political, economic, and social equality. Okay, equality of these sexes, that means of both men and women. Okay, just because they are men, they need not be given more political privilege, they did not be given economic privilege. Okay, so even in the public life and in the personal sphere also, the ideologies uh, had to show that, that equality is assured. So for that, actually, when patriarchal ideologies had to be replaced. Okay, and they had to think from this perspective, from the perspective of feminism. So points out that societies prioritize the male point of view, and that women are treated unjustly within those societies. So I have already told you about patriarchal society. In a patriarchal society that is governed by men, that is governed by the male views, so women were treated unjustly. Okay, so these societies prioritize the male point of view. They actually shows, okay, this is how the male societies are behaving. They are prioritizing the male views only, and because of the prioritization given to male views, they are ill treating women. Women are not getting proper treatment. Unjustly they are treated. That is what actually feminism wanted to point out. Feminism included efforts to change, efforts to change. They wanted to change many things. That included fighting against gender stereotypes and establishing educational, professional, and interpersonal opportunities and outcomes for women that are equal to those for men. So there were many efforts and to bring equality, social equality of the sexes. So, so that included fighting against gender stereotypes. Okay, there are, even now also, there are a number of gender stereotypes. So these gender stereotypes are questioned. Okay, that women should be this, men should be this. Okay, even in the advertisements you watch, even in the movies you watch, you see actually a number of gender stereotypes. So they are actually questioning. Feminists are again trying to initiate efforts to question these gender stereotypes. You usually see that, even actually in the market also, certain products are used by only women, certain products are only used by men. Okay, so nowadays actually we see what is a unisex products, so products which can be used by both men and women. So there are actually gender stereotypes. They have been, even now also it is there. So these gender stereotypes are questioned, and they try to establish educational, professional, and interpersonal opportunities. Everybody has the right to get educated. Just because one person is a woman, one need not be deprived of that opportunity. So that is such what do you say, efforts are made. And professional, a woman need not be actually subordinated in profession just because she is a woman. She also has potentials. Based on her potentials, she should be given uh, upgradation. Even in interpersonal relationships between, man and woman, even in family also, so opportunities should be given. So that is what actually they try to show. And there were actually many campaigns for women's rights. Even now also those campaigns are there. Okay, nothing, we have never reached the goal. women have not reached the goal, but still on the way. So the first campaign was the right to vote. I've already told you. In 19th century, there were a number of women suffragette movements. That means the right to vote. So it started with that, and they actually wanted to hold public office. So for that, there were a number of agitations, asked for equal pay. Just because women are doing some work, they were not given equal pay. Okay, as child labor, children are not given equal pay. You know that. And to own property, women did not have the right to own property at all. If you remember, A Room of One's Own in by Virginia Woolf, okay, that actually it is mentioned. Women did not have the right to own her own property. She was actually speaking about a room of her own. Okay? If she has a room of her own, she'll be able to write well. So the right to property was also not there. But much later only it was given, and women were not sent to colleges. They were not sent to universities. If you remember, Room of One's Own, Virginia Woolf was not given proper schooling. She was not sent to university. Even then, she was asked to give lecture there. And you remember how she was expelled from the library. So, right to get education, that was not there. There was no right to get. So they fought for the right to get education. They fought to get equal rights within marriage. Even now, also such things are there. We can see domestic violence. On the basis of dowry, also domestic violence. Then gender discrimination we can see in different ways. Then rape, sexual molestation, sexual harassment at workplace and other places also we find. So they were actually campaigning for women's rights. They were trying to get protection from all these atrocities also, sexual atrocities, rape, sexual harassment, domestic violence, okay, and such. So I've taken from this. Actually, this is not an exhaustive lecture, but I would just like to show you some aspects of feminism. So let's move to history of feminism and the different waves of feminism are there. So all those things I'll tell you later. So I just want you to know some of the things what feminists are trying to find out. So they actually wanted to show that they are also individuals. Okay, so they wanted to show that they also have the right to get justice. So, the basic needs. So I've taken the references from Britannica.com, New World Encyclopedia.org, Wikipedia.com, and Introducing Feminism by Katia Jananti and Judy Gross. So you get actually a number of books related to feminism. Many books are available online. If you want to know about it, you can download from actually internet, and you can access. So these are actually introductory lectures only. So after one or two introductory lectures only, I'll be trying to start lessons. Before that, I just want you to know more about all those things. Things related to feminism, gender studies, and all. I hope you are listening to the recorded lectures. Students, take care. This is what I have to tell you again and again. Don't go out unnecessarily. Take care. Whenever you move out, take all precautions. Even when you meet your strangers at home also, and even your relatives at home also, take necessary precautions. So take care, all of you. Stay home. Stay at home. Stay healthy. Bye.